A neurologist warns, the number one bedtime mistake that is silently destroying your brain after 60. You believe your brain rests when you sleep. For your entire life, you've been told that closing your eyes is like flipping an off switch, allowing your mind to power down and recharge. You have been told a lie, and this lie is creating a silent epidemic of cognitive decline. Welcome back to Wisdom Free. Today, we are not just sharing advice, we are sounding an alarm. Because the single most destructive force attacking your brain power after 60 is not a disease, a genetic flaw, or even the process of aging itself. It is a quiet assassin that you willingly invite into your home and into your mind every single night. We are exposing the number one bedtime mistake that silently destroys your brain after 60. This isn't about some rare, exotic habit. It's about the comforting rituals that you believe are helping you unwind, the late-night snack, the final episode of your favorite show, the glass of wine that helps you relax. These seemingly harmless choices are triggering a cascade of neurological damage night after night, slowly and systematically eroding your clarity, your memory, and your focus. And I want you to be brutally honest with yourself and with us right now. Before we even reveal the 4 habits that make up this number one mistake, I want you to stop and think. What is the one thing you do right before sleep that you secretly suspect might not be good for you? Drop it in the comments below. Is it the ice cream? The endless scrolling? The news? Confess it, because acknowledging the enemy is the first step to defeating it. If you stay with us until the end of this video, you will not only understand why your brain feels foggier than it used to, but you will walk away with a simple, science-backed ritual you can begin tonight. A ritual that can help reverse years of mental fatigue and reclaim the sharp, vibrant mind you thought you had lost to time. The stakes are higher than you think. This isn't just about forgetting where you parked your car. It's about losing the very essence of who you are. So let's turn on the lights and expose the thief that's been operating in the dark. Let's begin by dismantling the biggest myth about sleep. Your brain does not rest. When your body lies down, your brain clocks in for its most critical shift. Imagine your brain is a bustling, vibrant city. During the day, the streets are choked with traffic, thoughts, emotions, sensory inputs, decisions. It's chaotic, productive, and messy. When you sleep, the daytime traffic clears and a highly specialized crew comes out. This is the glymphatic system, your brain's secret janitorial staff. Their job is to power wash the streets, clearing away the metabolic debris and toxic proteins that accumulate during the day. One of these proteins is called amyloid beta. If that name sounds familiar, it should. It's the infamous plaque that builds up in the brains of Alzheimer's patients. Deep sleep is the only time this cleaning crew can do its job effectively. It's also the time when your hippocampus, your brain's librarian, is busy sorting through the day's experiences, filing important information as long-term memories and discarding the junk. But here is the terrifying truth. This entire vital process, the cleaning, the sorting, the repairing, depends entirely on the signals you send your brain in the final 60 minutes before you close your eyes. If you send the wrong signals, the janitorial crew is told to stand down. The librarian is too distracted to file anything properly. The workshop, instead of being cleaned and organized, becomes more cluttered and toxic. You might not feel it after one night, but after a year, a decade, The slow erosion becomes a landslide. Confusion is not a normal part of aging. It is the result of a brain that has been deprived of its ability to heal itself. Now let's look at the 4 common habits that are sending these catastrophic signals. It starts with an innocent craving. A bowl of cereal, a few sweet crackers, a scoop of your favorite ice cream. It feels like a gentle, comforting reward at the end of a long day, a well-deserved treat. But to your brain, it is a 5-alarm fire. When you ingest sugar or refined carbohydrates right before bed, your blood sugar levels spike dramatically. Your body, in a panic, floods your system with the hormone insulin to wrestle this sugar out of your bloodstream. This biological battle sends shockwaves through your nervous system. As the insulin does its job, your blood sugar then crashes, often in the middle of the night. To prevent this crash from becoming dangerously low, your body sounds another alarm, releasing stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These are the very same hormones that are released when you're being chased by a predator. They are designed for one purpose: to make you alert and ready for a fight. So there you are, lying in bed, thinking you are asleep. But internally, your brain is in a state of high alert panic. It's being pulled out of the deep, restorative slow-wave sleep required for that glymphatic cleaning. The janitors are on standby, unable to work, while the city is in a state of emergency. The amyloid beta proteins that should be washed away are left behind to settle and clump together night after night. Have you ever had a dream where you felt anxious or were running from something, and you woke up with your heart pounding? It might not have been a nightmare. It might have been your body's very real physiological response to a blood sugar crash. You think you had a full night's sleep, but you've actually spent hours in a shallow, stress-filled state, waking up feeling groggy, irritable, and mentally dull. You're not rested. You're just the survivor of an invisible internal war. The strategic solution. This doesn't mean you have to go to bed hungry. The key is to be strategic. If you must eat, choose a small snack that is rich in protein and healthy fats about 90 minutes before sleep. A handful of walnuts, a small piece of cheese, or a spoonful of plain Greek yogurt. These foods stabilize your blood sugar, providing a slow-release fuel source for your brain's night shift, rather than a bomb that sends it into crisis mode. Before you open that fridge tonight, ask yourself this piercing question: is this momentary comfort worth sacrificing tomorrow's memories? Let's move from what you put in your stomach to what you put in front of your eyes. For most of us, the end of the day means collapsing in front of a screen: the TV, a laptop, a tablet, and most insidiously, your smartphone. We tell ourselves we're winding down. Your brain, however, is being lied to on a fundamental biological level. The blue light blasting from these devices is a direct mimic of the midday sun. It travels through your eyes and strikes your suprachiasmatic nucleus, the master clock in your brain, with a clear message: it's daytime, stay awake, be alert. In response, your brain slams the brakes in the production of melatonin, the golden hormone of sleep. Melatonin doesn't just make you feel drowsy, it's the key that unlocks the door to deep, restorative sleep. Studies show that even a short period of screen time can delay your melatonin peak by up to 3 hours. But the light is only half the attack. The content is the other barrel of the shotgun. The political arguments on the news, the curated perfection on social media that makes you feel inadequate, the dramatic tension of a thriller, they are all engineered to provoke an emotional response. They activate your sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight mode. Think about it. You're lying in bed, scrolling through your phone. Your heart rate is slightly elevated. Your breathing is shallow. Your mind is hooked. You've essentially invited the chaos of the world into the most sacred space of rest. You put your phone down and turn off the light, but your brain is still buzzing, like a guitar string that's been plucked. Have you ever felt that, where your body is exhausted, but your mind feels like a browser with 100 tabs open, all auto-refreshing? That is the residue of digital overstimulation. Your brain never receives the signal of safety and closure it needs to begin its repair work. It stays on guard, stuck in a loop of light, fragmented sleep. The memories from your day remain a jumbled mess, and the toxic debris remains on the streets of your mind. The digital sunset ritual. The solution requires discipline, but it is life-changing. Declare a digital sunset. 1 full hour, or even better, 90 minutes before your head hits the pillow, all screens go dark. No exceptions. Create a new ritual. Read a physical book under a warm, dim light. Listen to calming music. Do a crossword puzzle. Have a quiet conversation with a loved one. You must actively replace the signals of urgency with signals of peace. You must prove to your brain that the day is over and it is finally safe to let go. Ask yourself, is this screen a window to relaxation or a cage that's trapping my brain in a state of perpetual daylight? This is perhaps the most misunderstood habit of all. A glass of wine, a beer, or a cocktail in the evening. It feels sophisticated, relaxing. It demonstrably makes you feel sleepy and helps you fall asleep faster. For this reason, millions are convinced it's a sleep aid. In reality, it is a neurological saboteur. Alcohol is a central nervous system depressant. It sedates you. But sedation is a counterfeit version of sleep. It's like being knocked unconscious instead of gently drifting off. Initially, it does suppress brain activity, pushing you into what feels like a deep sleep. But then, the betrayal begins. As your liver works furiously to metabolize the alcohol, usually a few hours into your sleep, a phenomenon called the rebound effect occurs. The sedative effect wears off, and your brain, in a desperate attempt to restore balance, jolts back to life. Your nervous system, which was artificially suppressed, now overcorrects, launching you into a state of high alert. This is why so many people who drink before bed find themselves waking bolt upright at 3 a.m., heart racing, mind wide awake, drenched in a light sweat. Your body is in the throes of a mini withdrawal. Even if you don't fully wake up, the damage is profound. Alcohol systematically annihilates your REM sleep, the critical stage for emotional regulation, creativity, and memory consolidation. REM sleep is when your brain processes the difficult emotions of the day, filing them away so they don't bleed into tomorrow. It's when you solve complex problems and solidify new skills. Drinking alcohol before bed is like asking your brain's librarian to sort and file all the day's books, but you keep turning the lights off and on and shaking the shelves. The work never gets done properly. You wake up not just physically tired, but emotionally raw and mentally inflexible, carrying the undigested stress of yesterday. The wise alternative. If you enjoy a drink, the solution is timing. Have it with dinner at least 3 to 4 hours before bed to give your body a fighting chance to process it. And in that sacred last hour, replace the nightcap with a true sleep-promoting elixir, a cup of chamomile tea, which contains the antioxidant apigenin that binds to calming receptors in the brain. or a mug of warm milk with a pinch of cinnamon to help stabilize blood sugar. The question you must confront is this: is the fleeting relaxation from this glass worth the price of my emotional and mental clarity tomorrow? The final and perhaps most pervasive mistake is not a substance you consume. It's a state you inhabit. It's the habit of getting into bed while your mind is still at work. You lie down, and immediately the mental checklist begins, replaying a conversation that went badly, worrying about a deadline, planning tomorrow's schedule, stewing over a financial concern. In these moments, your prefrontal cortex, the CEO of your brain, is still in the boardroom, holding an emergency meeting. This keeps your amygdala, the brain's alarm system, firing continuously. Your body is physically in a state of rest, but neurologically, you are in a state of performance and threat assessment. Your bed, which should be a sanctuary of peace, becomes a theater of anxiety. Over time, your brain learns through this conditioning to associate your pillow with worry. Is it any wonder so many people experience racing thoughts the second their head touches the pillow? It's not a mystery. It's a trained response. I once spoke to a retired school teacher, a brilliant woman in her late 70s. She could still recite Shakespeare by heart, but was growing terrified because she couldn't remember her own grocery list. When we examined her evenings, we found the culprit. She would lie in bed for an hour every night, meticulously planning her next day and worrying about her adult children. Her body was exhausted, but she was never allowing her brain to close the book on the day. Her mind was in a constant state of open-ended performance. The ritual of closure. To break this cycle, you must perform a conscious act of closure. In Japan, they speak of shime, the act of gently sealing or finishing something with care. Your day needs a shime. The most effective way is the brain dump ritual. About an hour before bed, take a pen and paper. For 10 minutes, write down everything, every worry, every task, every unresolved thought that is swirling in your mind. By externalizing these thoughts onto paper, you are giving your brain permission to let them go. You are telling it, "These are captured. They are safe. We will attend to them tomorrow, but for tonight, your work is done." Follow this with an act of gratitude. Write down 3 specific, tangible things that went well today. A beautiful sunset, a kind word from a neighbor, the taste of your morning coffee. This isn't just a sentimental exercise, it's a neurochemical intervention. It shifts your brain's focus from threat to safety, lowering cortisol and priming your mind for rest. The message you are sending is no longer worry. The message is, you have done enough. The story of today is complete. Now, let go. We have journeyed through the darkness and exposed the 4 thieves of your cognitive vitality. The path forward is not about adding more complexity to your life. It is about removing the friction and replacing it with intention. It is about understanding that your mind does not listen to your demands. It responds to signals. Your new evening ritual is about sending clear, ancient signals of rhythm, safety, and nourishment. Replace the sugary snack with a stabilizing one. Replace the chaotic blue light of the screen with the warm, gentle glow of a lamp and the pages of a book. Replace the sedative poison of alcohol with a truly calming herbal tea. And replace the racing thoughts of an open loop with the profound peace of a closed book. You do not need to be perfect tonight. You just need to begin. Choose one of these mistakes, the one that screamed the loudest at you, and commit to changing it, just for tonight. The human brain has a miraculous capacity for healing. No matter how many nights have been lost to restless, counterfeit sleep, the moment you begin giving it the right signals, it will begin to respond. The fog can lift. The sharpness can return. The small, loving ritual you begin tonight will echo forward, building a bridge back to the clarity you deserve. Treat your nights with the respect they command, and your mind will return the favor with a lifetime of brilliance. If this video has opened your eyes, then do not keep it to yourself. Share it with a parent, a spouse, or a friend who you know is struggling. Be the one who turns on the light for them. And please hit that subscribe button to join our wisdom-free community as we continue this journey together. Thank you for watching. And here's to living a life not just longer, but with a mind that is fully and wonderfully alive.